everyone, this is Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome here if it's your first time. This video is going to be a sample love relationship reading between Ben Higgins and Lauren Bushnell. I had someone express interest in doing these two, and for those of you who aren't familiar with them, they are the final two who are a couple for The Bachelor. And March 23rd is Ben Higgins' birthday, so this is also a birthday video for him. One of the things that struck me about their relationship is that they have a lot of planets in Earth. This is a very grounded relationship. Lauren has 6 planets in Capricorn. That is a tremendous amount of planets to be in one sign. And Ben has 6 planets in Earth, 4 of which are in Capricorn, and 2 are in another Earth sign. So both of them have 6 planets in Earth signs. Earth is the dominant factor for both of them. I'm also seeing a lot of Empress energy. There is a lot of 3 energy in their relationship. So he really views her as Venus or Aphrodite. She's got that Empress archetype. So it's no wonder that he chose her. This is just popping up all over the place. Of their 5 different dynamic connections, they've got 3 of them are Venus connections. Their shared personality number is a 3. Their life path number together is a 3. So it's a lot of, and Empress is the 3rd card of the major arcana. So it's got all this 3 Venus, Empress, Aphrodite energy. It is just splashing all over the place. So with the 2 of them feeling so grounded together, sharing all of that Capricorn energy, and then also her being Venus in almost every way possible to him, it's no surprise that those 2 have ended up together. What's the surprise about this relationship is that it's actually going to be very transformative for Ben, because Lauren, even though she is completely Venus to him in so many ways, both in the life spread and the spiritual spread, she also is Pluto to him. So that is a transformational dynamic. On some level, Ben has chosen her not only because of her Aphrodite, Venus, Empress energy, but also she'll be very transformational for him. She'll be very transformative for him. So I'm going to walk through all their different dynamics and talk a little bit more about how I arrived at each of those correspondences for them, and then I'll wrap it up with a tarot reading. So I usually start off with the numerology. Ben is an 8 personality. The way I get that is the month and day, add it all up together. He's an 8 personality, which is usually the manager. 8s are usually pretty organized. They're good at organizing groups of people. I use the image of a soccer coach for an 8 or a bank mogul. They're usually in charge of organizing the resources, so whether that's money or assets or tools or skills. 8s are wonderful in terms of prosperity, abundance, and organizing. They make great managers and bosses. For Lauren, she is a 4 personality, which is the builder. That is someone who's very stable. Both the 8 personality and the 4 personality are, again, very stable. It corresponds to all of their earth energy. It's very, very grounded. All of this relationship is very grounded. Even though Ben's sun is in Aries, which is a fire sign, the majority of his planets are in Earth. He only has 1 planet in fire signs. Same with Lauren. The majority of her planets are in Earth, even though she's a sun sign Aquarius, which is an air sign. Majority of her planets, again, in Capricorn. So very, very grounded, very stable relationship. And she's a very grounded and stable person just in general with the 4 personality. However, she has a 5 life path number. The way I get that is I add the month, the day, and the year. I'll be putting out a video on how to calculate your personality number and life path number, but hers is a 5, which that lends a little bit of an explorer nature to her. So she would be, and that actually explains, her travel, both Aquarius, which governs the air, and 5, which is the explorer. Being a airline stewardess is very comfortable for her. 5s want to travel all over. It's got a correspondence to Sagittarius. And the effect of the 5 is to go out, talk to as many people as possible, and bring back higher learning, higher knowledge to wherever you've explored from. 5 is also really good for someone who does a lot of interviewing. So if she ever decided to change her life path or her career from being a stewardess she could be very comfortable in hosting her own talk show. So someone who's able to be social and ask questions of others, that's definitely 5 energy. She would do very well as having her own radio show or TV show where she interviews other people. Or anything to do with travel. 5 is always featured for travel as well. Ben, on the other hand, has a life path number of a 7. Now, 7 is a very spiritual number. 7 is the disciple. 7 is the guru. 7 is the spiritualist. So that can give someone a sort of quiet or refined or reserved nature. Because he has that 8 personality, his outer shell is very, does well with groups and is social and is able to manage large groups of people. But on his inner core, Ben is actually a much more private, reserved, spiritually minded person. The 7 is really the archetype of the disciple or the guru or the person who goes up into the mountains away from common world into spiritual matters. So that's actually where Ben's center is. The two of them together, on their personality numbers, if you add the 8 and the 4, it boils down to a 3. Same with their life path numbers. If you add the 7, Ben's life path, and Lauren's 5 life path, that comes to a 3. So they're a double 3 together. 3 personality and 3 life paths. So when they come together, they actually form 3 personality and 3 life path. What that means is 3 is the communicator. 3 is the artist. 3 is the person who has something to say. And 3 is also the creative. So 3 energy, it's often looked at as when male and female join, they produce a third entity. Or it can be looked at as creatively, when you unite 2 polar opposites, they synthesize and form a new, unique whole, a new one. So that is 3 energy. We also see the image of the Trinity in there. 3 is spontaneous, social. It's about expression. So this number often corresponds with creativity, which a 3 often governs the artist. So it is someone who is a poet, a dancer, a painter, anyone who has something to express. And we see with these two together that they're very comfortable in expressing. Another feature of the 3 is that 3 represents Empress energy, which again is that Aphrodite, Venus energy that Lauren is so prominent for Ben as. So 3 energy can often mean the Empress is usually pregnant, and it's a card of giving birth to something. The number and the card both correspond to creativity, giving birth to things. And I would not be very surprised if they have children almost immediately. I could even see 3 kids with them. It's a very fertile relationship. Lots of Earth energy and lots of Venus, Aphrodite energy. So that's how he views Lauren completely. And the fact that they're 3 energy together, they have this creative, spontaneous energy together. I'm definitely going to say kids are in the picture very soon, and likely 3 kids as well. So that's showing up in their numerology together, double 3 energy. Also in their astrology, he is a sun sign Aries, she is a sun sign Aquarius. They're 3 houses apart. That is the dynamic of natural friendship. So I'm going to point it out here on this wheel. He is sun sign Aries here. She is sun sign Aquarius. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 houses. That's the dynamic, again, natural friendship. So it's very grounded. It's very stable. They may have felt a natural friendship immediately between each other. It also is governed by enjoying similar pleasures. One of the things that Linda Goodman said in her Love Signs book is that the commonality between Aquarius and Aries is that they both love a parade. They both love action and things kind of fun and lots of noise as far as the outer world, and they can both handle a spotlight together. They love that drama and the maybe drama isn't the better word, but the excitement of what's happening around them. All that energy in Capricorn too says that they really are able to project something into the outer world. They're good at managing their reputations. Lauren in particular has that element of being very polished with 6 planets in Capricorn. Her outer image is very, very carefully managed, is what I'll say. So, and he has his moon in Gemini. She has her moon in Taurus. So one of the features here, moon is how we express how we feel our emotions. So Gemini is the teacher to Taurus. So he's going to really be able to help her out emotionally, or be the teacher for her emotionally. That's the dynamic of their moons, is that he's in the teacher position and she's in the student position. He communicates like a Pisces. He's got his Mercury in Pisces, which is very soft, very, considering of feeling, considering of the emotional element. That's how he expresses his feelings. But his feelings can change from one moment to the other. It's funny with his Gemini moon. Geminis can sometimes feel one thing from one moment to the next. They can switch between emotions. And we saw with his having feelings for these 2 women and changing rapidly, he'll likely be very solid with Lauren because he sees her as Venus, as Aphrodite. But it's interesting with that Gemini moon, they can sometimes switch between feelings very rapidly. Taurus is grounding. She has her moon in Taurus, so she's very stable, consistent with her emotions. In the cards of destiny, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Of their 5 primary dynamics, as I said before, 3 of them are Venus connections. 2 of them are Pluto connections. Most of this is Lauren fulfilling roles for Ben. So their primary connection is that Lauren is Venus or Aphrodite to Ben in the life spread. That means she represents the goddess of love to him. Also, their second dynamic is that she's Pluto to Ben in their life spread. Pluto is an interesting character because Pluto is transformative. Pluto will break you down to your core elements and then build you back up. I use the image of a volcano for Pluto energy because it's like molten lava or magma coming up from the center of the earth that affects your very core being, and then it breaks everything up through the surface in an explosion to create new land. So he will become a new person through being with her. Pluto can be a challenging energy. There may be eventually some struggles for dominance or power or control. There can be ego battles when it comes to Pluto energy. But the effect of Pluto is to accept and integrate the challenge that your partner is presenting to you, because it's really something that you've chosen on a soul level for more growth. So that is who Lauren is to him on so many levels. She is Venus or Aphrodite, the Empress, the pregnant mother. But on these two very specific levels, she is providing a lot of Pluto energy, which can be challenging unless the person being confronted with the Pluto energy is willing to go through that transformation, to go through that renewal and become a new, higher version of themselves. It's not always easy. It's often very explosive, but if the person can take on that, it's very, very powerful. So their third correspondence is that Lauren is Venus to Ben in the spiritual spread as well as the life spread. The life spread governs what's happening down here on Earth. The spiritual spread is governing what's happening on a spiritual level or up in the etheric realm. And she's Venus to him there as well. She's also Pluto to Ben in the spiritual realm as well. So she's kind of presenting him with a double whammy. Like, she is Venus to him here on Earth as well as in the spiritual realm, but she's also Pluto to him in the spiritual world as well as here on Earth. So she's presenting not only Venus, Aphrodite, pregnant mother energy to him, as well as the goddess of love is how she appears to him, or how he perceives her, but she's also got this Pluto energy, which on some core level, it's going to challenge Ben to become a new person. It may challenge him to his core foundations, but he's chosen this on a soul level to help him get to this new person that he wants to become. And then the final correspondence that we have between them is that Ben is Venus to Lauren in the life spread. So this is a real love match. There's some real love here. Lauren does have her sun square her moon, which means that sometimes her emotions don't necessarily line up with who she feels at a core level, or she doesn't feel the ability to express her emotions on a core level. There may be some friction there, but Ben can help her with that, with his Gemini moon teaching, in a teaching role to her Taurus moon. She also has Chiron in Cancer, which shows some sort of wounding regarding the mother. Now, whether it's her being a mother, or whether it's a wounding with one of her parents, either her literal mother or a mother figure, or sometimes it can show up as the father. There's some wound that needs to be healed there. And likely through this relationship, that's going to help her work on that. So that's really the dynamic that is going on. Lauren holds the place of the goddess of love in Ben's eyes. It's no surprise that he chose her. He's a king of clubs, and she's a 10 of spades. They've got all of these planets in Capricorn together, so it's very grounded. It's very fertile land. I would say be ready for kids. Be ready for a kid sooner than later, and be ready for multiple kids. This is definitely, he's feeling like he's hit the goddess of love jackpot with her. That it's just a complete love connection, and it's very grounded. It's going to be transformational for Ben, and it's likely going to be very healing for Lauren in terms of communicating feelings and healing any wounds that she may have with mother energy, whether it's her being a mother or a parental figure that she has a wound with. So this relationship has a lot of blessings in it. The biggest challenge is going to be whether Ben will accept the Pluto lessons and challenges that come in with this, because it can take someone down to their core level, but on a spiritual level, he has chosen that, and chosen her to help him with that. So that covers the numerology, the astrology, the cards of destiny, dynamics. And if you have any questions about any of these, feel free to put notes down in the comments. I'd love to respond to those. So I'm just getting Venus energy all over this relationship. Again, I've said expect her to be pregnant very soon. That's that 3 Empress energy. And then I usually finish up the readings with a tarot reading. So I'm just going to do a quick one for them. I'm going to do a 5-card shadow highlight spread. So let's see what comes up for them, for Ben and for Lauren, regarding this relationship. What are the challenges? What are the highlights? So this is the Eight of Swords. This is Six of Wands, Nine of Wands. She's sort of like the central, she's in the center of their relationship. All the focus is on her because she is the representation of the goddess of love, all this Venus, Aphrodite energy. It's no surprise that she is showing up here in the center of the relationship. There may be a way, though, too, because this is in reverse, that she is feeling like she needs to connect to herself more, that she is not yet getting to be her real or full self. There's a way in which she's central and yet still in shadow. So the focus may be mostly on Ben, but in the situation, she really is the center of that relationship. She is the true focus of that relationship. She's sort of like what Ben is orbiting around. Even though she may not feel like she is 100% herself yet. I have a feeling that once they're married, once she's a mother, that's going to correct this card. That's going to make her feel full and complete and sort of out of the shadows. Another thing I'm noticing in this reading is that most of the backgrounds, there's a lot of gray energy in these cards, which is very stable energy. It's medium gray, which is stable. It's not either to one extreme or the other. It's very solid. It's sort of like middle path. It's very calm. It's very stable. The one thing that they're going to have to keep in mind with this relationship as it goes over time is to infuse it with more fire. Because it's stable and so grounded, sometimes that can lead to complacency within a relationship. But if they are able to be active together, for example, anything to do with sports, anything to do with like hiking, activity, obviously in the bedroom, that's great for fire energy. That's got a lot of Venus energy to it as well. That's going to be helpful to them throughout their relationship. Continuing to invigorate and introduce the passion, that's what Knight of Wands is about here in the highlighted energy. It's all about confidence and boldness. That's something that's highlighted for both of them. They actually feel more confident. They feel more bold. They feel more fire and like feel more daring together. So that's highlighted and featured for them. King of Cups is here in the shadows. King of Cups is the ideal partner, the ideal father. That's actually showing up for Ben, that he's the ideal partner, the ideal father. It's an emotional card. We saw his Mercury is in Pisces. This is someone who considers the emotional element of things. It's actually interesting that he's in the shadow position and she's in the central position. What it shows is that he's willing to take a step back to feature her. So we may see that since he's in the idealized lover, the idealized parent position, he is kind of standing back in the shadows to let her be the center of attention. Something that's fading away in this relationship, or that's passing away, is the Six of Wands. This is success, acclaim, being in the spotlight, being celebrated. So even though they are very much in the spotlight right now, even though they are sort of riding on their horse right now, that's going to be passing away as time goes on. They will probably be able to enjoy more privacy. The Six of Wands is triumph. That is basically like saying, we made it. We're both wearing laurels of victory here. This is the guy on the white horse who comes riding in, and everyone's looking at him, and he's achieved his goal. So that is going into the past. What's approaching for them is the Survivor card. So this is a card of surviving regardless of setbacks. This is Nine of Wands, which means you keep getting knocked down and you keep getting back up. So what this shows me is that regardless of setbacks that they may get, they'll be able to get back up from them. It's also a card of protecting yourself from outside influences. So it's kind of like looking over your shoulder. It's saying to me what they may be approaching more and more of is needing to protect themselves from the paparazzi. or feeling like they may need to defend their territory. They may have an onslaught of interest and, all these things surrounding them, and feeling like tired or weary of always having to defend their territory. There sometimes can be a little bit of paranoia in this card, but it mostly means like being willing to survive even though you keep getting knocked down, keep getting back up, and defending your territory. So that is the tarot reading for them. I hope all of you have enjoyed this reading, analyzing their love relationship. This is a sample of what I would do in a relationship reading between two people. I usually do the numerology, astrology, cards of destiny, love cards, and then finish up with a tarot reading. It's about half an hour long. I've gone a little quickly for this one, as it's just a sample reading. But that is my sample reading for Ben Higgins and Lauren Bushnell. Looks like kids are coming into the picture very soon, and she is definitely the goddess of love in his eyes. What he may not know is that she's going to be very transformational for him, and he's going to be very healing for her. So that's my reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any requests of who you would like to be in the next reading of who I do for a sample relationship reading, you can just click on this little informational button right there, and then you can vote on a poll of who you'd like to see me do next, or you can always put it down in the comments, and I definitely look at all of those and base the readings on who's got the most requests. Thanks again. Yours in the stars. I also want to let you know that I'm releasing a course very soon through Daily Ohm, which is about how to learn the major arcana of the tarot in 22 days. It's a 1 card a day course, and it contains over an hour of recorded video. I have little videos for each card that describe its archetypal information for each card, what it means in the upright position as well as the reverse position, and different astrological correspondences as well as mythological correspondences. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can just go ahead and click on the little info box there. I'll have a link to where you can learn more about that. It's not released yet, but it's coming up very soon here in spring 2016.